Hi, this is Kirby Sommers. Today is Sunday, September 7th, 2025, and I am going to share with you a little bit about a demon called Lilith. And basically, what this is an excerpt of my book, Merchant of Death, Leslie Wexner. And, I shared some information, basically, another excerpt on my Substack. But for those of you who are not there, I am going to just read a little bit about this. Okay. Now, I'm just reading a little bit about it. If you want more, I'll include the link below so you can go read the entire article. So clearly, I've been studying this and old ancient traditions and the imagery on Little St. James, uh, as well as, Leslie Wexner's history, where he comes from, all of the nooks and crannies that most people really don't get into. And I found within Kabbalistic literature, clearly somebody that I've written about years ago, but I'm going to share with you today. And many of you may have heard about Lilith. Now, she's supposed to have been Adam's first wife, the mother of all abominations, and she is a she devil. And I have a photograph of Lilith on the screen currently. So, according to the literature, Lilith is a shape shifting demon who uses men to give birth to demonic babies. Other than her association with being a devil, she's also seen as a vampire. Historically, she was known to drink the blood of infants and children. It's further suggested that if Lilith was unable to find a baby to, and I'm going to have to use another word, unalive, because they were protected by amulets, she was not above turning against her own flesh and blood. Now, I wrote this as it pertained to Wexner, his mother, and Victoria's Secret, as I will be explaining. This is from my book, Merchant of Death, Leslie Wexner, who was dubbed the Merlin of them all. However, I go into other aspects of his life. And again, the symbology, symbols that were um, hidden, frankly, in Epstein's house that most people have not even talked about. Um, and so I'm going to add this to the stage and I will continue to read from my article here. So, as you can see, these are symbols, and one of them is a serpent, the other one is, an owl. There is like, the moon and the cross. There is the seal, very symbolic, and it's very reminiscent to me, at least, of the symbols used by NASA for, let's say, their Mercury 7 and the stuff that I have written about previously on my Substack. Then, of course, there's the dark moon, and there's, another sign. Now, Lilith is believed to be the goddess of the infamous burning relief. I'm going to show that to you in a second, but it's basically circa 1800 BC. And let me just put that on the stage here for you guys to see, because this is going to be very important as we continue with this study. I mean, the study that, let's say, the so-called Epstein, not a quote one-off, has opened, I think, goes back historically for a very long time, continues to present day, and will continue into the future in different forms. However, we have to look at the symbols, what things mean, in order that we can get a full grasp of what's going on. So as you can see, it's a winged woman with bird's talons, and this woman is flanked by owls, and she is standing on two lions. So I'm going to pause for a minute so that you can actually take in the fact that, her feet are in fact talons. And she's got these two owls standing next to her. So I'm now going to put the top of J.E.'s little blue and white temple that was at Little St. James. I'm going to change that here so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. And the reason is because if you look at it close enough, there sits a mysterious temple. It's on top of the hill. I mean, it really does look like it traveled through time, right? I mean, all of it is painted. The doors are painted. Everything there is painted in ways that he did in other places, such as his home, even in Galen's house. Uh, the bookshelves were painted on. There's a lot of just um, imagery, stuff that's there but's not there. However, it looks like it's from ancient Mesopotamia, and it's a golden dome. It's flanked by two owls, and so then the question becomes: are these tributes to Lilith? And if so, are these then the, let's call them, not of age? And actually, there are instances of 5-year-olds, and I can't say more than that, but are the not of age, and also boys that I talked about in my last podcast, are the not of age then meant to be replicas? And are they, in fact, perhaps taught to be replicas of this woman who's very conniving and who does things in order to get something in return, right? And so the dome, I think we all know, was blown off at some point. And here's the thing, and I'm going to just pick up the reading from my book. While Wexner has done much to protest his innocence, the fact is he purchased what we know as ORGY Island. It goes something like this. In 1992, Wexner sells J.E. the oversized guest house on his massive estate for $3.5 million. It's 23 room. It's a 10,000 plus square foot estate. And then in 1998, Wexner buys it back for $8 million. J.E. turns around and he uses this money to purchase Little St. James for $7.95 million. This is not a coincidence. So if Lilith reminds you of Victoria's Secret angels, it's because Wexner appears to have used Lilith as his inspiration. And so for that, I'm going to show you a Victoria's Secret model from the front and a Victoria's Secret model, the same one from the back. I think that the resemblance to Lilith with the wings can't be unseen once you see it, right? Okay. So I just want to put the image of Victoria's Secret model again, just so you guys can really sort of keep it in mind. All right. So those trademark wings are really, what made Victoria's Secret sort of up there with the couture world, where they really didn't belong. I mean, this was lingerie. This was not high priced lingerie. It was badly made lingerie, but they had fashion shows in the manner of, let's say, Chanel or Valentino. But they were not anything like that. And clearly, there are other reasons that Victoria's Secret was successful that I go about explaining in my chapter, I believe, on Ray Raymond and all of that. So the name Lilith would be appropriated by another very unusual person, and that person would be Patricia Sinclair. Now, if those of you who have been following all of this stuff know that that would be Michael Aquino's second wife. Now, was raised as a Roman Catholic in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Aquino, as you probably all know, was a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army in their psychological operations unit. He's said to have provided, quote, invaluable contributions to strategic communication and the art of psychological warfare. And so while in the military, Aquino was part of the CIA's Phoenix program and the mind control branch known as MK Ultra. In 1969, while still stationed in Vietnam, he began corresponding with Anton Sandor LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. And so once back in the United States, he became LaVey's protege. Now, I'm going to stop here because the goal of this, well, I'm going to add one more thing because the Church of Satan followed in the footsteps of British occultist and Satanist Aleister Crowley, who is known as the Beast 666. So we see that we have SATANIST references, and that these references, I sort of connect them to not just the temple and what the owls basically may have represented, but also to where Wexner might have gotten his inspiration. I show you the historical relief that is believed to have been Lilith. And then, I basically show you, a replica of Lilith and the symbols of this she demon. Um, And so hopefully you guys will hop on over to my Substack, read the article. It's free. It stays free for about 2 weeks, and then Substack automatically kind of makes it, hides it for some reason under the paywall. I want to thank those of you who have become subscribers and those of you who have purchased this book and my other books. And a few of you did leave super thanks, which I really, really appreciate. And hey, it's Sunday. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. If you are new, subscribe, like, share. And until next time. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.